Hey, how you doing? I was gonna say fellow Kenyans, and I thought, ooh, don't go there. Anyway, I thought as we go into the weekend, it is so important that I put certain things out there that we need to chew on. And chew on is important because you can't swallow some of these things all. You need to chew on it, let it, masticate, saliva, and then you try and take it down, okay? Maybe with some water if you can. And, on my list, please add a few more. You must, because even this I got from you. Oh, no, I don't come up with these things myself. Rent, it's on everybody's mind. Pay your salo. Prayer, this is about you and prayer and you and your pastor. We have to talk about the president and this job he really seems not to be enjoying right now. Comparisons we're making with other people that I don't think are necessary or even relevant. Schools, we have to talk about that one. Corporate Kenya, and then just me, you, and what we have in our savings account. Let me start with rent. I noticed that when the president addressed us the other day, everybody was like, why didn't you say anything about rent? It's a tricky one. So, like I said, you need to chew on this one. Huh? First and foremost, I don't think he can turn around and tell anybody not to be charged rent. In his capacity as who? The place you're in is somebody's investment. And not just that, chances are the rent you're paying somebody, and by the way, we're not talking about skyscrapers in Kilimani and Riverside, is how somebody else lives. So if you've got a 1-bedroom apartment or a 2-bedroom apartment somewhere, there's a person who bought that so that they can actually get income from that apartment. We've got to also think through the whole rent thing. I mean, this is mine. You can't walk in and tell me that silipi, which is why, if you remember, a couple of videos back, I said the landlords who have told their tenants, si lazima mulipe, those people are heroes. They are godsend. They have actually places reserved for them already in heaven. Because that's just not possible for a lot of people. And, by the way, push back all you want. But I don't see that being a go-to situation, okay, when it comes to rent. However, I'll say this. If you're not among the Kenyans who's had to take a pay cut, who still gets a salary, if you're not a Kenyan whose income has been hit madly, if you're still making some money, pay your rent. In these times, a roof over your head is important. If you can, pay your rent. If you're a landlord and if you can, give your guys a break. If you can't, it is what it is. I can see, and this is awkward, and it brings me to the next thing I want to talk about. If landlords were to get a tax break and they passed on that tax break to their tenants, then that would work. But I think we already noticed that even with the things we were offered, to make us feel good, what will you end up, behind, and then instead to tax our pension, I don't know. So let's talk about the things that excited us, some of us, when the president spoke about reduction in certain taxes. One of them was on your salary. If you're part of the bracket that was paying 30% to 25%. I need to say this. Today, as I'm recording, this is the 17th of April. Payroll will probably start being worked on now. You're not going to see a difference. If you're already signed, and a lot of us have, you've taken the 20% pay cut or the 30% pay cut, and you were thinking, then I will get a relief because my payee is down to 25, it's not going to happen now. And I said this, stop screaming. Remember when I said there's a whole process to this? That Parliament must convene, but for Parliament to convene, remember I'm the one who told you the Speaker will have to make sure that the members of Parliament get tested because they all can't be sitting there, wakiambukizana, but And now we know that we've got 53 members of Parliament. How many times a week are they sitting? So remember, this will go through a reading and another reading, and then because it's a bill, and then it will become a law. So I don't see you getting the tax relief on anything he talked about, including VAT, until May. So I need you to sit with that one. Chew. I told you, chew. Because if you don't chew on it this weekend and try to swallow it, it will without doubt choke you. I also want to talk about the other people who feel that they're being truly, and by the way, we also need to stop making jokes about this. They're being adversely affected by the fact that you can't congregate, and this is churches. Because there's no offertory, there's no, it's not happening, all right? But I heard rumors, and I like to believe they're rumors, they're not serious. There's some people who said, they too need to be compensated, otherwise they'll stop praying for Kenya. Oh, please get over yourself, quickly. Because I think, and I'm a Catholic like that, I think Luke 11, 1 to 13, but if you just do 1 to 5, Jesus was praying and they came up to him and said, teach us how to pray. And then he said, when you pray, say, Our Father. Yes, you were taught how to pray. And if that one is not working for you, I think you should go to John 14:6, where Jesus tells you no one comes to the Father except by... Please, get on your knees and pray. Nobody has to do it for you. You are taught how to pray in Luke, and you are also told how to get to the Father. And I'm speaking to the Christians in John. It's done, it's done. I'll give you the verses here in case you're not aware. And I am moving on. I refuse to have a conversation around monetizing religion. I think there is a lot of faith-led institutions that do good work in the community. I am not seeing it right now. Okay? Our president, who starts every press conference with fellow Kenyans, we can tell that this is a difficult time for you. But Your Excellency, the locusts are coming. In 2 weeks, you will not even begin to believe what your weekly press conference is going to be like. I wish you well. Comparisons we make randomly, and I see this on Twitter and I see this on Facebook, and we're like, oh, did you hear what Botswana is doing? Did you hear what about Uganda is opening? Tanzania has decided they're relying on Jesus. First and foremost, we're Kenyans. Let me just start on opening up. There's a reason Nairobi is in its own quarantine. I don't know if you realize if you're Nairobian, you are in quarantine. And then if you, for any reason, have been exposed, you're in another quarantine facility. So you're quarantined within a quarantine situation. Nairobi has been quarantined. Why? Because we're mangas, we don't listen, we seem to think we're special, and we also think this disease cannot catch us. I don't know who told us this nonsense. But we're also the same people who hear that, I don't know, in Botswana, the government has taken, I don't know how much money and given it to all its people. First and foremost, population. And please find out for me. Botswana, 2.3 million? Tops. 2.8. Tops. 2.8. 2.8 million people. Fellow Nairobians, we can eat them for breakfast and have room for lunch and many snacks. But we cannot have this conversation. And also, there's something unsustainable about taking your reserves and saying, have. That's month 1. What are you going to do in month 2 and 3? How far did you think this through? You can't make decisions for political expediency so that it looks cute. It's not sustainable. Then what happens after that? But we've got to be careful about constantly doing this apples and oranges thing. Now, you and I know we're broke. No, we're broke like a nonsense. We are mortgaged to the hilt. We cannot have conversations about how other guys are doing things. We don't have money. I don't think anybody's lending us any. Okay. Like I said, chew, swallow, chew, swallow. Thank you. Schools. The international school system is probably going to open its doors in the coming week. The main school system will open, and when I say doors, it means we go back to learning online, okay? I would like there to be a true conversation about quality over quantity and a teaching system that is effective and efficient. It's not enough anymore to say, we're online. No, 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 no. There's got to be a quality check, okay? Otherwise, leave the kids alone. And there's got to be an efficiency and effectiveness. And please remember, I think there's two things to be very clear about. Number one is the very obvious, that in this world we live in, where there's now distance learning because of social distancing and schools can't be open, literally, a fair share of the population that was already disadvantaged will be further disadvantaged because technology is not available to all. And this is across the world, not just in Kenya, across the globe. But what I think is also important to understand is that we are today part of a 1.9 billion classroom experimentation program. We're all experimenting. We have to figure out where the best practices are for something like this. But for me, my emphasis once again is not we've got 10 Zoom classes every day, and we've got 5 Zoom. Let's stop it. Quality over quantity, and what is the best way to do this that is effective and efficient. That's all I'm going to say on this, because and we're all learning. Okay, we're all learning. Chew, swallow. Okay, good. Corporate Kenya. How dare you go into hiding when your constituents, your customers, need you the most? You think that I don't want to hear about staying home because we can dream and plan now and work together to make those dreams happen soon, from my banker, from my favorite restaurant, from, you think I don't want to hear from you? Let me just, Caroline Mutoko is an anomaly, okay? But there are days I'm awake, and I'm sure you can see this. If you're ever awake and you look at Facebook, you can see that I'm online. The people try to send me invites. No, I'm reading. We're scared. We're close to panic. Some of us feel lonely. And you have been in my life, in my ear, in my face, day in, day out, because you wanted something. You think you can sit out this period of time when I am scared, when I am ambivalent, so that in 2 months or 3 months you can say, hey, come and open an account with us? I will treat you exactly like you treated me in my hour of need. I'll ignore you. You must engage. Find out how to do it. And here's the thing. Mutahi Kagwe reminding us to, sanitize, wash our hands, cough into our elbows, seek medical, not move. It becomes wallpaper. But I do want to hear this from Equity, and I want to hear it from KCB, and I want to hear it in a different way from Total, and I want to hear it from Tuskies, and I want to hear it. I want to hear it from the people who constantly are in my face asking me to gimme your dollars. Corporate Kenya, shame on you for hiding. You are needed. Some of the things that need to be said, some of the messages that need refreshing so that they do not start being taken for granted, can only be done by you. You are the closest thing to a friend a lot of us have. You, even if you have a cell phone, remind me to clean it. Remind me to clean it every so often. Because if there's something, we touch too much of, it's this. But where are you? Where are you, Corporate Kenya? You've got to stay engaged, stay in play. Because if you think you're going to check out of my life for 2 months and then think you can check back in, oh, my friend, you have no idea who you're going to be dealing with. I don't think any of us like being abandoned by the brands, the products, and the services who are constantly in our lives. Engage. It is good for all of us. And finally, I want to talk about you and me. If you are getting a salary this month of any nature, spend it on two things. Actually, three things. A roof over your head, food in the stomachs of your children and the ones you love, and your health. That's it. Because this is a difficult question for anybody to ask anybody, but I'm going to ask it. If this situation as it is continues for another 3 months, tunaweza? Okay, wewe, peke yako. Because we also make these blanket statements about we. Okay, you. Can you deal? Okay, so first and foremost, commit to stopping this virus. Commit. Because if we stop it, we can get back to creating our new normal, because they're going to be totally new lives. And then, if you're blessed, advantaged to be able to still have an income, a roof over your head, food in bellies, health, and where you can, bless. Bless another. Okay. Chew. I said we're chewing on this weekend. And if there's anything else you think I need to touch on, please let me know. Look after yourself, okay? Look after those you love. Clean your hands with soap and water for 20 seconds. Cough into your elbow. Don't touch your face. I'm sure you could see it. It lives here because I'm one of those people. Like, the mask, I still can't breathe. But after a while, it makes my nose tickle, so I have to and I shouldn't touch your face. So I am, you could eat off me, and you should see me. Oh, by the way, this I have to tell you. When I get home, like today's a working day for me, and then I'm not back in the office for a few more days. But I'm the person who's like, I don't want to be touched when I walk into the house. My clothes come off, I shower. Or if I'm gonna wash my arms, I do it almost like a surgeon, to the elbow. I'm one of those all the way till here. And then I am ready. Have a blessed weekend. If you're able to watch this, please remember you're blessed and you're truly highly favored in more ways than you can imagine. And if you can, try and remain in an attitude of gratitude. But then again, like I've always said, stay home, stay safe, and stay positive. Yeah? But on this particular video, chew, and then swallow. Because there's really no other way of taking this particular medicine.